My name is Leila, and this beautiful couple beside me is my lovely guest for today, and I'm so excited to share what they have to offer with you. Right, would you like to introduce yourselves, please?
Sure, Luke. Hi, my name is Paul Foster,
And my name is Leila.
and together, as Luke has mentioned, we're a beautiful
Power couple,
Power
wow. Yeah.
couple that have recently embarked on a wellness journey into breathwork, and in particular, our modality is 9D breathwork.
What is 90 breathwork?
I'll let Leila answer this
Okay.
one, and then we'll chop and change as we go along.
Well, 90 Breathwork is more like a guided meditation, playing with brain entrainment, putting your brain waves into different states, guiding it into different states, theta, beta, whatever that, the journey encompass, and bringing you into a subconscious mind to reprogram it so that you get what you want. Either it's letting go, transcending fear, or asking for abundance, or maybe even reconnecting with your inner child.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting because we often get asked, what is so special about your particular
Modality.
breathwork? Yeah,
Correct.
your modality.
There's
yeah.
other types of breathwork. Yeah.
Absolutely, and look, breathwork is millennia. It's so much history and tradition and culture, and it's been around for so long. And obviously, as it has evolved, it's provided different methods for people to utilize, to heal, to evolve, to transform. But the beautiful thing about 90 Breathwork is it amalgamates science and technology with the breathwork. So it brings that
Best
beautiful
of both
combination.
worlds. Yeah. Spirituality and science.
That's right. That's right. And again, they just mentioned how it's guided meditation. You hear the voice of the founder, Brian Carey, guiding you through certain journeys. It's bringing a healing frequency of 432 hertz. It's got music. It's got binaural beats. It goes from front to rear, left to right sphere. It's like this surround sound of amazing energy that will either bring you very high up to somewhere or very deep down in yourself for your journey. And we love holding space for our participants and guests to really find their own way on their own healing journey.
Well, thank you to you guys for this act of service and holding space for the participants, because it is a heavy responsibility. How did you guys stumble upon this modality? How did it come into your life?
Well, I'll start first because Leila actually bought me a session for my birthday.
That's a great birthday gift.
Yeah, it's a great birthday gift.
Yeah.
And that first journey was very interesting, and it unlocked my door. It didn't get me to the point where I am now, and I think that's what the first session always does.
Yeah, it's a
because-
stepping stone.
That's right. You need to figure out the feelings, processing those feelings. When I say unlocking the door, because I had a few blockages in my life.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us. Yeah.
So I think it was just my mind and my body, kind of stepping through to this new world and going, oh, okay, something has shifted. What is that? And what's the next step? And continuing on the breathwork journey, and 9D has helped me tremendously. And I thought, if I can heal from this, so can anyone else. As you mentioned, everyone has some sort of baggage or trauma or blockages, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it's been regressed and suppressed so many years. We buried it so deep into our psyche. We don't even know consciously that it exists.
That's right.
But if you don't work on it, what it's going to do is going to rear its ugly head at some point, right? And really bite you in the back, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Leila, maybe you could share with the audience, right? How did you guys end up becoming the official facilitators?
Yeah, so we're the Singapore official ambassadors. So I know the founders of 90 Breathwork, and they are my business partner for my birth coaching, my childbirth education, and they really started and grew 90 Breathwork into like a worldwide phenomenon, right? And huge in the US and the UK. And well, I would say I've been manifesting in a way for something bigger than birth and stuff. So when 90 Breathwork was when they came to us and was like, hey, do you guys want to be the Singapore ambassadors? I was like, wow, that's the
so aligned, so
universe like
synchronized.
giving
Yeah,
me, you know, okay, that's your next step, that's your next path, you know. Been holding space for birth and labor and C-section and grief and loss for so many mothers, like thousands of couples going through that big transformation in their lives, and now to, you know, gradually come over to holding space for more, like a wider audience was very natural in that sense.
Right. Perhaps you could share with the audience what kind of immersive trainings or instructions you will receive from the founders themselves to be able to hold space and be facilitators here in Singapore.
Yeah, so you do go through an online teaching journey, and you have to go through all the videos, watching how to facilitate, how to hold space, the do's and the don'ts, and everything from the back end to the front end, even the software, the hardware, the significance and importance of really holding a safe space for people who are going to be healing on this journey. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And again, as Leila mentioned, she's been doing this for a long time already in her own space, and to a certain degree, even myself, living my life, and I haven't been formally trained in that way, but I've been life trained in that way, and I think having a connection with a human connection, reading people, feeling people, and having that gift, so to speak, is very important. And when it comes to what we do, going through the 2 to 3 month course, because it depends how fast you can do it.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of time and you can watch everything quickly, and you can go through all the modules, and again, tick this box and tick this box, and there's quite a lot of boxes that you have to go through, and then jumping on the calls with the team to make sure that everything's squared away, that we're ready. You jump in and you jump into it. You have to hold a few sessions with family and friends to make sure you've got your rhythm and your stride and the setup, and you learn as you go along with that, bit by bit. But I think we come to a point now where we're about 5 months.
Yeah,
5 months in.
I mean, I came for your first ever session, and I would say it was amazing. You guys were pros. You didn't even feel like it was your first session.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it is how dynamic a duo you guys are. It's a very yin-yang combination, right? Because a lot of people doing this is their first foray into being vulnerable, first foray to anything remotely wellness or spiritual related, and they're not actually delved into their inner self, their inner child, their shadow work. So, and especially for men. And so you as the archetype, you're able to relate to the males out there who have not been able to get in touch with their feelings and emotions. And then Leila is the perfect complement because she will then hold space for the expectant mothers, the sacred feminine. So I think it's wow, it couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah. I think you really hit everything on the head there. I was gonna pepper in my thoughts with that, but you really covered everything there.
Right.
And I think why the founders wanted us to kind of represent 90 Breathwork and be this power couple, Leila being a doula, holding space,
She's a great
helping
doula.
helping to bring babies, into this world.
Correct.
And I think with my experience hosting, especially, and facilitating my events, over the last 2 decades, I think that combination was like you
Perfect
said,
marriage.
Yeah, the yin and yang of it, where we were able to really do what we do to the best possible way. Like you said, even when you came for one of our first sessions, that was it.
It was seamless.
Yeah, we knew what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it.
It's like it was made for you guys,
Yeah, it was just
right?
fine-tuning the little
Correct,
things.
correct. Leila, maybe you would like to chime in on, participants, right? Everyone gets something different, depends on what they require in that moment. And each session is different. You could be side by side with someone and have a completely different experience. Some people will say they feel numb, some people will say they're bawling their eyes out, and some people will say they felt nothing, and others will say, wow, they astral projected to some other dimension. Why is it so, vastly varied and different for everyone?
Well, before I jump into that, let me add on a little bit of what the 90 training is, right? So not everyone gets to be a 90 facilitator.
You
You have to go through interviews with the founders, with the CEO, and with the account managers, and they have to decide whether you are just learning 90 to do it on your own, but you might not be suitable to hold space, and or you are amazing and you've given experience and show them that you can hold space for people, because it is a very deep and vulnerable space for many people. And back to your question about why people get to have different experiences, it's very much how they are feeling in that moment and how much they want to let go, and how receptive they are to the healing modality. It's said to be as powerful as 10 therapy sessions if you just come from one. Why that is because it's up to the person.
I can attest to that. Perhaps maybe even 100, if you're willing to fully immerse and fully let go and be vulnerable, and it can be scary initially, but after that, when I feel like for me, my own experience, the first 5 minutes I found it uncomfortable because that breathing technique is not how you would normally breathe. So, and I felt like giving up, but then that voice, the founder said, no, you must push through, and I did, I pushed through, and I'm so glad I did, because then I really transcended that blockage, and then I received what I needed in that moment.
Exactly.
I could let go, I could purge, I could, all that stuff that is holding me back, the emotions, the tears I'm not being able to cry, all let out, and I feel lighter after,
Yeah, it's amazing when you come with an open mind, and so when you feel something uncomfortable, your conscious brain is always telling you stop. Like, don't do it anymore, stop, But if you push through, like, people running a marathon, or now the trendy high rocks, right? If you push through and force yourself, you don't know what you uncover or discover on the other side.
But this is also why people are scared, because it's the fear of the unknown. It's they're doing it for the first time, you know what they expect, right? But actually, without knowing what they expect is best, because you go with no expectations, blank slate, clean slate, right? And allow whatever comes to come, whatever you need.
Yeah.
And also, that's also why you need to do multiple sessions. You can't just do it one time.
Yeah, I mean, we always say it's like going to the gym, training your muscles, or training for a marathon. You have to run. It is consistency. It is breath work. It's not something you have to do every day, but we do encourage once or twice a month, perhaps, give or take, depending on how you feel, depending on what journey you want to do as well. If you want to practice just the breath work itself, I mean, there are a lot of little ways we can do this. There's little fast 10-minute ones for you before you go to bed. So it's a down regulation, there's up regulation, there's the big journeys that we do. And there's 70 journeys in the library at the moment, and more are being developed all the time. So you could be coming for a long time to do many different journeys.
Ongoing. Ongoing.
Do the shadow work to heal. Luke, you also mentioned how men in particular can find it difficult, and I always attest to that as well myself, because that's what happened to me, and that's when I knew, man, if it can really work for me, it can really work for anyone, and that's why we encourage everyone to come. To try it once.
At least once, because
you don't
can't
like
be
it,
described in words.
That's it.
Exactly.
Same with like eating, right? I always say, how do you know you don't like something? You gotta try it first. How do you know you love something? You gotta try it first. Sometimes you gotta try it twice, just to make sure. Maybe the first time the produce wasn't fresh, something was off, or the chef didn't cook it quite right, or it's the wrong seasoning. It's the same thing for this. You're gonna come, you might have not been in the right headspace. People also, I fell asleep. It's okay. If you fell asleep, sometimes that's what your brain was telling your body you needed. You needed to just shut off, but you went into your subconscious, and the healing was still happening, and just at a deeper level.
This is a very, very good point.
Yes. And so there's no right or wrong.
Yes.
Whatever happens when you're here on a journey is whatever you really needed. And I think that's very important. So we encourage again, come and try another session then. And people have come the second session where they stayed awake throughout, and it super powerful for them. And that's where you can see the difference. And then after that we say, okay, you've done this journey already, why don't you try another journey to heal in a different way.
Correct.
The breath work and the science behind it, it's always similar. You know, certain things change, but the foundation is always there. It's now whether or not what are you opening up and what are you processing? What are you releasing that is the power?
Right, Leila, perhaps you could share a personal anecdote of how you help one of the females that came to one of the breathwork sessions to transcend or overcome something, a phobia, what share that experience.
Wow, there's so many.
So many.
Yeah.
Just
But
one.
I think there was a mother and a daughter.
Yeah, this is a great
Yeah,
story.
so she hardly understands English, and the guided meditation is in English. But she had one of the most powerful journey, and when she came out of it, she turned to her daughter and she just burst into tears because she said she finally understood what her daughter has been going through her entire childhood. And of course, they both just hugged and cried, and I was just sitting there holding space
Oh,
for
this
them.
transformation.
Yeah, that was individual healing, and then
Together.
which
Yeah, it
was,
was
When you see things like that, you realize, wow, you makes it all worthwhile. All the
Yeah.
effort that you guys are putting into this, into the
Yeah.
time, the
Yes.
energies.
Yeah, and holding space for, I mean, we're not just holding space for people like new to this, we're holding space for people who are like you, or
Correct, yeah,
like
correct.
famous people in the wellness industry that has decades of experience in healing other people and their
Yeah,
coaches,
yeah.
and they come for this, and the voice notes that I get or the messages that I get post session, it's like, wow, that's like such a powerful journey, or I'm still healing, and they might be in their 50s and late 50s even, and to hear them telling us like we've done this for decades and this is transformational, and even for them.
Yeah, I will attest to that. Because even healers need healing. I go to therapy
Yes.
regularly.
Yes.
I work on myself every day. And in fact, we have to heal more because we don't hold space and facility for others. How can you help someone heal if you haven't done the work yourself, you haven't healed yourself, right?
Exactly
So we
right.
actually do it.
We actually
100
do it
times
more.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do
Like,
it way
more
more.
intense.
And more intense, we do the harder work, and we are we have to practice what we
Yeah, it
preach.
has to be the champion for it.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I would ask you guys, right? When you can be Madonna, Lady Gaga, even Jesus, right? And the more of on the pedestal, and more on the spotlight you are, right? You definitely going to have haters, distractors, doubters. So what are you going to say to these people who, they don't understand or they just want to attack you? Right, what do you have to say?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I think both Leila and I have experienced that
Yeah.
throughout our entire careers, independently of each other. So I developed quite a thick skin early on in being in the entertainment industry because, it didn't matter what I did.
Yeah, they'll always be jealous,
Correct.
people, competitors.
Correct.
Not even competing with them, but you want to.
It's right,
Yeah.
jealousy,
Yeah, correct. Projection.
some sort of hatred, projection, and that's fine. And I don't have an issue speaking. I've spoken to a lot of these people when they try to be their keyboard warriors and say things, and I've always challenged them, and I'm not challenging them in a rude way. I say, look, I think you have some problems. Something is not right.
Yeah.
Would you like to meet? We can talk about this face to face. And not one of them has ever accepted my offer to meet because they can't. They just
Yes.
they won't. And then more often than not, some of them will change their tune a little bit because I've had a chat with them, just be like, listen. And when it comes to what we're doing now, sure, we're gonna get someone saying something for whatever reason it may be, and I would always just say, why don't you come and try a journey? Why don't you come and try, and then you can tell us whether what we're doing is not right. And then tell Leila why. What is it that we're doing wrong that we need to fix, that we need to improve? Because that's the only way that
That it
whatever
can be
you
constructive.
think, that's
Exactly.
right. Whatever you're thinking we're not doing correctly,
Yeah.
you need to be able to tell us, and we can then try to help us, help you, and vice versa, right? And we're very open with that.
Yeah, you're receptive.
That's right.
course,
That's right.
of course.
Now, whatever it may be, we've always also known that you do get a lot of hate if you're doing something
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
or something wrong, or just something. You're doing something that for some reason has rubbed someone the wrong way. And like I said, early in my career, I realized it didn't matter what I did. I was
Yes.
building homes, I was building schools, I was, just doing my job, and you just get someone just not happy about something. And it's like, okay, I cannot, there is no
No pleasing
contest.
everyone.
That's
It's not
right.
possible.
There is no
Yeah.
contest here because it's like, really haven't done, if I did something wrong, and you want to hate me for it, and you want to challenge me, and you want to, pull me out and dump me in the fire, sure. And then that's where the ego goes away, and you be like, okay, I recognize that, I acknowledge that, I did something wrong. Now how do I improve? How do I get better? If you're doing something right, the problem's on you. And we're here to help. That's what we want to do. We're here to
Comfort
help.
yourself. Leila, any closing thoughts?
Well, to people who are like, the same question that are not happy with what you do, or we don't have enough. Apparently, we don't have enough certificates, or we don't have enough experience. But I mean, I don't know how much more experience other than more than 10 years of holding space for bringing life and sometimes death into the world and supporting that space. And also, I mean, Paul hasn't mentioned, but he has supported himself, his family, and many other people through grief and loss, to the passing away of his dad, right? And it's not something that I feel, it's not something that we need to tell the
No,
world
absolutely,
about.
yeah.
I mean the most famous shamans or the most famous wellness practitioners, unless the ones that like are Wim Hof, right? But when Wim Hof was Wim Hof himself before he got famous, nobody knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But he was still holding space for thousands of people. And,
Yeah.
and the old shamans that live in like the forest and stuff, why do people travel like days to go find them? But can you really Google their certificates or Google their experience? Like, no, because they are not even on the internet, So, don't, I would say don't trust everything you read on the internet too. That's also something that people need to
Or don't
remember.
trust what you can't find that you need.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Yes.
In that way.
Yes.
So,
And I would always, like Paul said and like Luke said, come experience it, right? And if it's something that you like, continue. If it's not something that you like, then sure, thank you for experiencing and trying this journey. But you'll never know until you really try and find it. This is a healing modality that's suitable for you, and it might be really transformational.
Right, I can attest that the two of them have done decades of their own self-developmental work in their own ways, right? I've known both of them for a long time. Leila and Paul, where can the audience go to find out more about Nike Breathwork and what you have to offer?
yeah, right now we've got our Instagram account, fosterthelove.co, and at the moment we're at the beautiful space here at Pan Pac Orchard. We do a lot of our journeys here, but we do have other locations, other venues as well. But we're growing. This is still new. We're still growing, and we're still, reaching out to everyone to come and try this. So, and it's happening. And the beautiful thing is, it's happening.
Yeah.
People are sharing. And
It's expanding.
Yeah.
It's accelerating. Awesome.
And so that's just it. You can follow either of us as well for more info, and we're gonna keep doing this because we think it's
Yeah,
very,
they're
very
committed
important.
for sure.
Yeah, it's very important,
Right.
Yeah.
We're ready if you are. So just let us know.
I'll be placing their links in the video description feed. Please feel free to reach out to both of them or either of them. Right, thank you guys for coming
Thank you.
and sharing what you have with the world. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more similar content. Bye.